This beef shank recipe is very lovely, and so is the artichokes, which are a symbolic of spring. Many years ago, there was a professor at Harvard named Nadav Safran who gave me a recipe in the days that you were using veal for veal with artichokes that was a typical Egyptian dish that he grew up with. And you use either veal or lamb or beef shanks. And I've used beef shanks today, but you could use lamb shanks, which has become very popular at Passover. I'm going to try this, I forget what it's called, the beak knife to do this. But you can use any knife. And you can also use your fingers. So I'll show you with the knife, but you want to get rid of all the leaves. Unfortunately, you don't cook them. I think that I'm going to try sometime to cook them and see what happens. But I usually just, instead of using a knife, it's easier just to get rid of them like this. You know, your hands are wonderful tools. Okay, and then what you do is cut off the tops. What you really want is the heart. So I use a grapefruit spoon to get rid of the feathery center that we were always told as kids never to eat because you'd choke to death. It was one of the real fears of my childhood. Okay, and then you put them in acidulated water. I've done all the others. Okay, so you keep it in the water for a little bit until you're ready to cook it. Here's my shanks. And the recipe that I have says to cut them up and not use the center. I think the marrow is something that's really important to use, at least for cooking. Bones are important. And also the marrow inside is absolutely delicious. And you could serve it apart, or you could serve it with the veal, or the beef, with the beef. Salt. You can already smell that. It smells really good. And pepper. And of course, if you're using kosher meat, you salt accordingly. Saute these, the shanks in olive oil, and then I'm going to cook them with water to halfway up for about 2 hours. Has like a yellowish tint. Just need to, and then you want this halfway up, and just cover it, bring it to a boil, cover it, and simmer it slowly for about 2 hours. While it's simmering, take all of your artichokes with some bring it to a boil. Add lots of garlic. Again, garlic, passion fruit, food. And even though this is typical of a dish for Passover, You can have this any time of year. By the way, see the way I use my hands? I love to use my hands. You want them to be tender. So you remove and you save this delicious interior. Actually, I'm going to put it in with the dish. I'll just keep it actually, yeah, so that some lucky person is going to get it. This is actually an easy dish to do because you can make it ahead. And I think I'm going to make it this year for Passover. I just put it all in. All right. And you realize you can do all of this ahead of time, which makes this a wonderful Passover dish. What's beautiful about this is that these artichokes now are perfectly cooked. So I'll try it. Delicious. And more delicious.